So what's up? How you doing today? In this video, we're going to take a look at 10 ways we can improve our jamming on Darkstar. So let's get right into it. Number 10, and that is meditate. Before we start, we want to take a big breath and really get in the zone. This is definitely the type of song you don't want to just jump right into. You don't want to just plug in your guitar, turn on the amp, and get going. If you've got a tube amp, you want those tubes to warm up a little bit, so we got to warm up ourselves. And just do that by just, at the very least, taking a big breath. Let's try it together. Just one big breath. Hold it for a second and let it out slowly and just get our heads in the right space. It's such a simple thing, but it can make a huge difference, especially with a song like this where it's all about really getting in the zone. So the next thing we can do is kind of a continuation, and that's listening. So that's the number one rule with jamming with any type of song, any type of band, style, whatever. But this song especially, to me, is all about listening. It's not about showing off and tuning everybody else out, just showing off your skills, that kind of stuff. We just want to listen. So if you're playing with a band or you're playing along with a backing track, really just listen to what's happening. Listen to the music as a whole. Listen to individual instruments and latch on to something. So really, really listen and make sure you realize there's no mistakes. Just accept whatever you play and then play off other people's ideas. So if you hear the bass doing something kind of cool, latch into that and get ideas from that. Again, it's a group effort. It's not about doing your own thing and tuning everybody else out. So now to get down to the scales of what is in Darkstar specifically, it's A mixolydian. And for the one that I made for my track, D dorian for the intro. I was going off the live dead version for the intro, and then a little later taking some ideas from the 74, I forget the date, but the Winterland concert. There's a whole show on YouTube that's really great quality, the video and audio, and the band's on fire. And it's a little different, that version of Darkstar. It's kind of funkier. And then most of what I did for my track is just kind of my own thing. I just like to do my own sound, which sometimes is a little funky too, so it's a little funkier than most versions. And yeah, so the intro for the live dead version is just D dorian. So you want to know that. It's the same thing as C major scale. We're focusing on the D, and then for the rest of the song, the whole thing is A mixolydian. And for the purpose of keeping things simple, the rest of this video I'm going to play right around here. Just this example. So around that A mixolydian shape there, it's just A major, if you don't know, with a flatted 7. So a G instead of a G sharp, and that's the main dead mode that they use for really the majority of their jams. And really throughout this jam, I mean, Jerry's not really playing outside of it too much. I mean, it depends obviously on the night, the version, but even when he plays really out there, it's often within this mode. It may sound like he's using these exotic scales, and sometimes that may be the case, but usually it's just within this. It's just how you use it that makes it sound the way it sounds. So if you play up and down, it just sounds kind of ordinary. But if you start mixing it up, like it starts to sound a little more out there. It's the same exact notes. So keep in mind that a lot of it is actually just A mixolydian, even though it sounds like it changes up from time to time. So the next thing we want to check out is playing motifs. And that would just be these small little phrases like the one in the 74 Winterland version that I tabbed out in the backing track I made, where it goes like this. Which, by the way, I accidentally wrote that 10th fret on the G string, like that. A little typo. I apologize for that. It's supposed to be the B string, so it's just an octave. Real simple melody, but that's the type of thing you want to learn those, and ideally learn them by ear, listen to different versions and pick them out and figure out what it is, but most of all, come up with your own. So don't just be noodling on the scale all the time, but come up with little things, rather than going like that, which is cool, now and then, but instead of that, maybe So just by starting off by a simple little repeating thing, it makes it a little more interesting, and it's a way to develop things rather than just going up and down scales. So motifs, figure some out, create your own, but lots of motifs. So the next thing, number 6, is rhythm. So this is not really thought of as like a very rhythmic song. It's very spacey and just kind of free time floating, but we want to still always be thinking of rhythm. It's so important, so often overlooked, and people are always just focusing on notes. They want to know more about notes. But rhythm, and we could go off talking about rhythm. We could go off talking about any of these topics and make this video hours and hours long. But let's just simply think of 2 rhythms, 8th notes and 16ths. Those are the 2 big ones through here. So if the tempo's like this, which the tempo could vary depending on the version, how slow and fast it is. But say it's like this, we'll have those 8th notes going, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or for 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, so translating to. So work on getting used to just playing 8th notes, just 16ths, mixing it up, but getting really comfortable with those and comfortable with the scale and in different positions so your fingers aren't fumbling around, and get used to mixing it up so we're not just playing the same kind of feel the whole time. So the next one I'm going to look at is intervals, and that's a big part of my own playing, and that's simply just the distance between 2 notes. So it could be really small, it could be really big, and really shaping these sounds through different types of intervals. So really mixing it up, and that's how we can come up with our little motifs as well. So instead of just going up the scale, maybe some bigger leaps. But just try it, experiment around. And we can also utilize seconds, fourths, and fifths, what they call secondal harmony, quartal harmony, and quintal harmonies. It's a mouthful. I have a whole video actually about that, using Feel Like a Stranger as an example. And that is, instead of just playing, say the A chord, we could be throwing in this one over here, like this, and this would be all fourths, going from here to here. So that's just a particular distance, a particular interval. So from here to here to here, here, those are all fourths. Gives you a real distinct sound. So we can play that chord, or we can play individual notes. And it's like, okay, maybe that's too much. Just do one. So say you're going down the scale. Skip these notes here and just do a fourth to start off instead. Those are all fourths. Then fifths. So get into fifths, fourths, and seconds. And I'm not going to go too into that, but check out the other video if you want to know more about that. So explore some intervals. So don't just play up and down, and really get your ear used to the different ones and see which ones you like. Now, number 3, I would say effects. We can go nuts, with, what do we got here? Some delays. So it's a way to instantly just take things out. This is definitely one to really experiment with effects. Maybe a wah pedal. There's one version Jerry uses the wah. Vanetta, as I say right? Oregon 72. The Sunshine Concert. So experiment around with lots of effects. Again, delay, wah, whatever you have, a phaser, a tremolo. It's not something that you hear in the Dead much, but I like that sound. Volume swell, something I like to do a lot. Especially during a really spacey part of the jam. Another thing is like pick scrapes, especially with the delay on. I like to do this little old school computer sound sometimes. Or you could do these little seagull sounds. like to do. I picked this up. I used to play in a Talking Heads cover band and would sometimes do this. And what was it? Houses in Motion tune. Works better with this actual slide, but you can pick up anything. I don't know. Just pick that up because it was close by. So try getting some weird sounds with effects, you know. And this is the song to try it out, you know, for sure. So to go back to notes, another thing we can try is playing an E minor pentatonic scale. Even though we're an A mixolydian, this gives us kind of an A sus9 sound because it gives us the 5th, flat 7, root, the 9th, the sus4, and then we're back again to the 5th. And I have another video on this as well, doing this in, was it Shakedown Street, using G minor over the C7 jam. And it's a great way, especially for that one, you can get really funky, but this, you can do anything. You can get really spacey because it gives you that, again, A sus9 sound. And you can do weird intervals and that stuff, so. Maybe two notes at a time. So that's something to explore. It's a sound I like to do a lot over mixolydian situations and stuff. So check out that. E minor pentatonic over the A chord. So second to last one here is technique, which of course you just kind of, some people think, oh, you just kind of do whatever, but we can really hone in on some different techniques, like rather than just playing the notes, say we want to play this one, bending. So sliding, pull-offs, hammer-ons. Maybe playing on one string, you know? Getting more of a slide sound. And also, oh, see, I just went out of the scale there. And then I kind of like that, though. I didn't mean to do that, but, you know, also, don't worry about getting outside the scale, too. So we're talking about just staying right in the A mixolydian, but we can just, yeah, just try anything, really. So toy around with some techniques. And then the very last one here is experiment. So try everything I just listed and anything else, you know. So try the A mixolydian scale. Try this note right here. That one there, and find some things that work. But this is the type of song to really experiment, like get out of your comfort zone. Don't just play the same thing all the time. And especially if you're playing with the backing track, you've got nothing to lose. So just try it out. If you're jamming with a band and it's just at a rehearsal, so you just try some things out, you know. I mean, even if you're performing in front of an audience, you know, I like to experiment a little bit, but, you know, not so much be practicing in front of a crowd, you know, because that's not what they're paying to watch a person or a band, you know, rehearse. But this is the type of song that to try out a little bit. They want to hear it, you know. If someone in the crowd is excited to hear this song, some people may be like, oh, what is this stuff? You know, they're just stuck at a bar listening to it. But if they're into it, they want to hear you take some chances. So try out anything and everything, and really, you know, try to grow here. We could talk about a million topics of this song, but hopefully that's a good enough list to give you a good start. And if you enjoyed this video and enjoy others, I encourage you to check out my Patreon page. I've got extra stuff. It's a fairly new thing, and I give the MP3s. I've got the MultiTrack WAVs for my backing tracks, PDFs to all the materials that I've got for just a small fee. And if you want to just support it too for just a few dollars a month, you can do that. And that really will not only help me out, but help you out if you're into this, because I can then make more and higher quality content and really give this a real go, exploring different types of content as well, different bands and different topics and stuff. So yeah, check it out. I've got a link down below. I'll put a link right up here as well. I appreciate checking that out. But I have the backing track in another video. Normally I have it at the end, but this one's pretty long. They want to make the video seem super, super long. So I've got the link down below as well to check out the Dark Star backing track, where you should hopefully be able to try out anything you want with it, and have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next video.